Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica Soto. Okay, so boom. Let me take y'all back to a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember the exact date, but all I know is that Damien got COVID. Damien, my husband. And he brought it home to me and Lotus. And so, we know, alright, we got a quarantine for the week. Damien is sick. He's not feeling well. He's exhausted. He actually had a lot of nausea. He just wasn't doing great at all. I started to feel a little scratch in my throat. Mind you, I've been taking care of Damien all day. I've been taking care of Lotus, the dogs. The house is being completely neglected. The house is a hot mess. It is awful. And so I realized I needed to clean. And I had to force myself, even though I was tired, I wasn't there mentally because I was, taking care of the entire house by myself. And I was coming down with a sickness. I knew I wouldn't feel good the next day. If you struggle with motivating yourself to do something, especially something like cleaning, if you realize you're the type of person that gets paralyzed in anxiety, or you'll look at something and say, that looks too overwhelming, let me not even touch it. If you're one of those people, don't worry, I am also one of those people. And here are my tips, a couple of tips that I have to just getting it done. Okay, so as far as for cleaning, my house was a hot mess. And one tip that has helped me, that I still struggle with, and I'm still trying to force myself, but the main thing you have to understand, especially when you have kids, and this video is specifically about cleaning, but it can go for anything. But as far as for cleaning for this video, one thing I have had to learn, especially with having kids, if you're sick, if you work full time, it will never be 100% clean. There's always going to be a mess, and you gotta learn to let loose a little bit. Okay, if you're the type of person that can't see a piece of paper out of whack without, going into frenzy, my advice to you is don't have children. That's it. So that's one thing that has helped me, and that helps me get into my next tip. Now, let me tell you guys, I knew it was going to be a bad day the next day. I knew I wasn't going to be feeling well enough to clean anything or to take care of anything. So I'm like, okay, this has to get done today or else it won't get done for another week. And the house was already a mess before we got sick. One thing I like to do is set a timer. Now, there are some rules with this timer. And I promise y'all, if you try it, it'll make you feel so much better. But let me tell you, rule number 1, set a realistic time for you. Don't tell yourself, okay, the kitchen is so dirty, I'm gonna give myself 2 hours. When it took you 2 hours to muster up the energy just to wash the dishes. That's not real. Just to stand up and think about cleaning took you hours to do. You think you really gonna have the discipline to sit there for 2 hours and clean the kitchen? No, you're not gonna do it. You set the bar too high, you don't reach the bar, you feel like a failure, you fall into a cycle. Don't do it to yourself. Don't set yourself up for disappointment. Set a realistic timer. For me, personally, I have gotten to the point where my realistic time is 15 minutes. I know I can clean undisturbed without any distractions for 15 minutes before I, start veering off, start getting bored, start losing energy, whatever. I know I can do it for 15 minutes. Now, you may not be at that point. You may not be at 15 minutes. You may have to set a 2-minute timer. You may have to say, you see that bowl right there? I'm gonna pick up that bowl and take it to the kitchen. And that may be all you can do at that time, and that's okay. Set realistic times, set realistic goals. For me personally, 15 minutes, which is something I had to work up to. I was starting with 5 minutes. I'm gonna clean undisturbed for 5 minutes. I had to work up to 15 minutes. You gotta work on it. Give yourself small goals. So for me, 15 minutes, the rule, no music, no phone calls, no nothing. That's one rule. No distractions. 15 disturbed minutes. Rule number 2, you are not allowed to leave that room. Now, that's controversial because some people have this rule. I know my friend Lo, she has this rule where if you pick it up, you put it where it goes. You do not put it down until it is in the spot it belongs in. And I think that's a great rule. But for someone with ADHD, it could be turning into me bringing the bowl into the kitchen, to me seeing the dishes, to me realizing the garbage needs a new bag, to go into the garage, to realizing the laundry room is dirty, to, I'm not that type of person. I get distracted very easily. And so my rule is I do not leave that room. If there are things in the room that need to be taken out of it, do it at the end, right? And if there are things that belong in a different area that are in the kitchen, okay, well, I'm gonna put them on a little pile somewhere, put them on the floor somewhere, and at the end of the 15 minutes, and at the end only, will I take them, that little pile of things that need to go where they need to be, and I will go put it up before I start my next room. It's a practice, but at least for me, it's helped me. I cannot leave the room. If I leave the room, it won't get clean. So that's something I've learned, setting a realistic timer. Also, being patient with yourself. Understand it's not always gonna be clean. It's not gonna be perfect. And as I show you all the finished results of what the rooms looked like after I set the timers, some people would say that that's not even clean. There were still dishes in the sink. The floors weren't mopped. But, it wasn't supposed to be perfect. I just needed to be in a fair condition. But I knew if I could get the house to a somewhat livable condition, once I started feeling better, healthy Erica can look at that and say, oh, it's not that bad. It's only a few dishes in the sink and the floor needs to be mopped. So being realistic, like I said, it's not always gonna be clean. It's not always gonna look nice. But setting goals for yourself, setting realistic goals for yourself, having grace with yourself can make a world of a difference. But yeah, have patience with yourself, have grace with yourself, and just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just get up, move those 2 feet, and do it. It seems easier. Obviously, it's easier said than done. I know that from personal experience, but just do it. You got it, okay? All right, and that is all I have for y'all. I hope this was a little bit of motivation. I know me watching people clean is very motivating, and it might not be that satisfying because it's not like these weren't drastic changes or anything, but I hope it was a little bit of a motivation, just, you got it, okay? Let's get up, let's clean one room today. Let's throw one thing in the trash today. Let's put up one object, just one. Okay? All right. You can do that for me. All right? Cause just do it. Just do it. Do it. Not for me. For you. Do that for you. Okay? Just reward yourself with one easy task. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment. Leave a like. Let me know what's up. Let me know what anything y'all want to see. I love you. Bye.